is FSC's Financial Forum, where we explore topics related to securities, insurance, and private pensions, as well as the regulatory environment within which these industries operate. Hello, my name is David Geddes. I'm the Director, Stakeholder Engagement, Communication and International Relations at the Financial Services Commission, FSC. FSC was established in 2001 to promote integrity in the financial sector and protect consumers of financial services in the non-deposit-taking financial sector. Today, we look at the work of the Financial Inclusion Secretariat at the Bank of Jamaica, the securities sector, and we hear from the Toronto Centre. Melanie Williams has more than 2 decades' experience in corporate finance law, both at the private and public bar, as well as significant expertise in pensions law, securities law, insurance law, trust law, contract negotiation, financial fraud investigations for regulatory breaches, legislative drafting techniques, regulatory policy, and offshore financial law and services. Like yours truly, Ms. Williams is a proud Hubert Humphrey Fellow alumni. Ms. Williams currently heads the National Financial Inclusion Secretariat at the Central Bank.
Hello. Thank you for joining us. My name is Melanie Williams, and I'm the National Financial Inclusion Coordinator at Bank of Jamaica. It is indeed my honor and privilege to have the opportunity to have this conversation with you as part of the FSC's Regulatory Summit. So, what is financial inclusion? Financial inclusion is about improving access to financial services which are offered by regulated financial institutions. We're talking about everyone in the financial industry, from commercial banks, merchant banks, building societies, securities dealers, life and general insurance companies and their intermediaries, and of course, authorized pension fund administrators. Of course, we also recognize the immense contribution made to the financial industry by our credit unions and by our microfinance institutions. Financial inclusion is not just about improving access, it is also about encouraging the usage of financial services. By that we mean we're trying to encourage the underserved population as well as the unbanked population to use financial services which are offered by regulated financial institutions so that they can be better protected. So essentially, financial inclusion is about creating an inclusive economy for households and for firms. It's about micro-entrepreneurs, medium and small-sized enterprises, and citizens, consumers, so that they are protected when they engage with financial institutions. Now, when we speak of financial inclusion, we want you to take a different approach. This is not a top-down policy. This is rather endemic to the Caribbean, and in the case of Jamaica, it is designed to meet the needs of our population where they are now. So consumers need to be comforted that there's a regulator in the space that will protect them if they do have a dispute with a financial institution, and that they will have an easy, quick process to resolving any issues or concerns that they may have. In addition to consumer protection, of course, there is financial literacy. Consumers need to understand the products that are being presented to them. They have to be in simple, straightforward language, free from technical jargon that can confuse. It also means that when we engage with our population, we have to start teaching financial concepts at the earliest opportunity. So there are several teachable moments when it comes to financial literacy. And you and I both know that there are opportunities to share concepts, even at the moment of when you acquire the financial service. But before that, we want to actually teach our youth about critical, basic concepts to do with finance. For example, what is savings versus what is investment? You often have these terms being confused in the minds of many persons, which, as we all know, can sometimes lead innocent consumers to being fooled by persons who are offering Ponzi schemes. Work that the FSC has been keen to prevent in terms of ongoing proliferation in Jamaica. So apart from just teaching our youth generally through social media content and through television, we are actually part of the Consumer Protection Financial Capability Working Group that FSC chairs, which seeks to create financial literacy content for our youth through the work of many different players. And we're starting with the secondary schools. So stay tuned for more information because we'll deep dive into that a little later. Who are the beneficiaries of the National Financial Inclusion Strategy? First of all, the beneficiaries are us as a people, you and I as consumers. But more particularly, it has to do with our citizens of Jamaica or youth, or small, medium-sized, and micro-entrepreneurs. And we're also seeking to benefit many recipients of welfare payments who have the benefit now and the opportunity to obtain these benefits digitally. So financial inclusion, it really seeks to support the work that is contemplated in Vision 2030. And of course, Jamaica's ongoing commitment to Sustainable Development Goals. We're talking about Sustainable Development Goal 4, which has to do with quality education, Sustainable Development Goal 8, which has to do with decent work and economic growth, as well as Sustainable Goal 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, and Sustainable Development Goal 10, Reducing Inequalities in our economy. So what have been some of the achievements of the National Financial Inclusion Strategy to date? First and foremost, I am very pleased to share with you that there have been recent amendments to our Proceeds of Crime Act and the regulations which allow for simplified customer due diligence requirements or simplified know your customer requirements to be applied to certain categories of consumers based on the assessment of a financial institution. What does that mean? That's a big mouthful. Let me break it down for you. You know how difficult and how painful it can be to open an account. Many of us have often commented that it's almost as if you need a recommendation from God himself to do so. But I'm here to tell you that's not the case. If you are in fact a low risk for money laundering or for financing of terrorism, and the financial institution makes that assessment, and the type of service that you seek to acquire has certain features, certain design factors that further reduce that risk, you may be eligible to use simplified KYC or simplified Know Your Customer requirements to open that account. I must underline that this, of course, is the determination of the financial institution in question when they meet with you. But that means that you will require less in terms of actually meeting the identification requirements to open the account. That's a major achievement, one which we anticipate will benefit many of our low-income population. Another major achievement is that we have seen improvement in the sources of funding and the provision of technical assistance to our micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises through a range of vehicles, including the work of the Ministry of Industry, Investment, and Commerce, as well as the Development Bank of Jamaica. A significant achievement has been the work which has been done by the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce towards improving the regime that allows for business persons to use what we call movable collateral, aka items such as your equipment, your computers, your cars, as a basis of obtaining a loan from a regulated financial institution. And I'm pleased to let you know that Bank of Jamaica continues to work on improving digital payments for you, the consumer, so that these are accessible and at the appropriate price point for you, which we all can look forward to. So what is the big picture when it comes to financial inclusion? Where do we want to go and where do we want to end up? So our timeline that we are working towards is 2024. And we are working towards improving the levels of financial literacy in our Jamaican population so that you have a better understanding of key financial concepts. We are also working towards having a proper consumer protection regime for that part of the market that is not yet regulated in that way from a consumer protection perspective. And by that I mean our commercial and merchant banks and our building societies, as well as all other entities that are regulated by Bank of Jamaica. So let's understand the big picture about financial inclusion and the work of the Government of Jamaica, Bank of Jamaica, FSC, and all our financial inclusion partners. So we are working towards achieving in 2024 an improved environment for digital payments for you and for firms. We're also working on improving consumer protection mechanisms for all citizens that use financial services. We also want to make sure that our consumers understand the financial services that they are using. So we will be pushing strongly on financial literacy, especially when it comes to our youth. And most importantly, we are committed to improving the data around financial inclusion so we can really drive policy which is informed by the facts on the ground and the needs of our citizens and firms. This is a collaborative effort, and we invite you to join with us. BOJ, FSC, and of course the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Greetings from Toronto, Canada. I'm Shalina Visram, Program Director at Toronto Centre. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce and welcome our President and CEO, Mr. Babak Abbaszadeh, to deliver the congratulatory message for the Financial Services Commission of Jamaica as they celebrate their 20th anniversary. Babak joined Toronto Centre as President and CEO in June 2010. He is responsible for all aspects of the organization's strategic, capacity development, and operational activities. During COVID-19, under Babak's pivotal leadership, Toronto Centre was not only able to quickly retool and transition to a virtual programming model, but also expanded our programming to address new and emerging risks and its implications for financial supervisors. Welcome, Babak.
Thank you very much, Shalina, for that kind introduction. First, to our friends and colleagues in Jamaica, I would like to wish you and your families good health as COVID-19 and its variants continue to rage globally, especially in developing countries such as Jamaica. The international community must urgently do more to boost the supply of vaccines now to end this catastrophe. After all, we all live in one world. On a more positive note, I am so excited to bring you congratulations from Toronto Centre as you celebrate the Financial Services Commission of Jamaica's 20th anniversary. That is an impressive milestone. Designing and delivering our long-term country engagement programs in Jamaica has been a key priority of Toronto Centre. I am proud of Toronto Centre's contributions to help your organization's supervisory and leadership capacity. By promoting collaboration between our two teams, the FSC has advanced its regulatory remit for the securities, insurance, and pension sectors in Jamaica, with the primary areas of focus on protecting consumers of financial services and promoting integrity, efficiency, and transparency in markets that you regulate. I would like to express our congratulations and gratitude to FSC's leadership. I salute Chairman Mr. John Robinson, Executive Director Mr. Everton McFarlane, and his management team and staff. Without your championing this effort and your commitment, there would be no success. I would also like to thank Shalino Visram, a Toronto Centre Program Director, a valued and dedicated member of my team, who has been at the center of our capacity building efforts. She has neither spared any details nor left any stones unturned in helping the FSC. But most of all, I would like to congratulate the over 1,000 Jamaican participants who enrolled in our programs for a number of years, some attending more than one, in the past 2 decades, in various international and regional programs of Toronto Centre. And of course, those who were part of our long-term FSC-specific programming since 2018. Their tenacity and dedication for learning and applying the lessons to their ongoing challenges has been exemplary. Despite the significant challenges posed by COVID-19, FSC continued its work on developing risk-based supervision frameworks, or RBS, by way of virtual visits with Toronto Centre. This is truly commendable. Since Toronto Centre's establishment in 1998, we have focused on providing high-quality capacity-building programs for central bankers and other financial sector regulators and supervisors. Over the years, our team has trained more than 15,000 officials from 190 countries and territories. We humbly started our RBS programs in 2009 and steadily strengthened them year after year. Today, financial supervisors from countless jurisdictions around the globe seek out our best-in-class programs to help navigate the complex cross-sectoral challenges of the 21st century. So you in Jamaica are benefiting from thousands of hours of experience and expertise invested by Toronto Centre towards RBS design, development, and delivery. Moreover, our experience and time with you and the Bank of Jamaica over the past 6 years will benefit the other countries who are seeking Toronto Centre's training. Our program objectives in Jamaica has been to illuminate the essence of risk-based supervision and to help supervisors address the challenges of emerging risks, which include, but are not limited to, the new normal of COVID-19 world, including how to conduct on-site RBS examinations. Since this message might be broadcast to a broader audience in Jamaica, please allow me to take a moment to expand. In a nutshell, risk-based supervision relies on informed judgment rather than compliance-oriented thinking. Properly designed and implemented, RBS can facilitate more efficient, targeted supervision, early detection of perilous problems. It also allows for measured and proportional intervention action, financial inclusion, responsible market development, and financial consumer protection, as well as sustainable development goals in all its manifestations. Toronto Centre's approach is to pair risk-based supervision and proportionality, so we go beyond prudential issues related to the financial system's stability and health to incorporate the risks arising from the exclusion of sustainable development goals and ESGs, or environmental social goals, governance goals. This outlook safeguards the gains achieved thus far while using resources effectively. We believe our collaboration with you in Jamaica has led to stronger supervisory authorities, enhanced public confidence, greater financial stability, climate resilience, and financial inclusion, as well as the opportunity for individual members to enhance their skills and toolkits. Toronto Centre's mission is sponsored by our key funders, Global Affairs Canada, Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, or SIDA, the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, Jersey Overseas Aid, Comic Relief, and the United States Agency for International Development, who share our passion for financial stability, fostering financial inclusion, achieving sustainable development goals, and ultimately accomplishing poverty reduction around the world. I wish you all the best in your exciting journey of safeguarding the financial system and providing access to inclusive financial services to the citizens of Jamaica for decades to come. Thank you and have a fantastic celebration.
Thank you, Babak, for taking the time to share in FSC's celebrations through this recorded message. On a personal note, it has been my pleasure to work with FSC management and staff on the RBS long-term engagement. I would like to congratulate them on their achievements and wish them continued success. Toronto Centre celebrated its 20th anniversary in 2018, so we understand the importance of this milestone. Thank you and all the best.
David Geddes, he was the Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana-based Organization of Caribbean Utility Regulators, or CUR. He also held senior positions in the National Water Commission and the Office of Utilities Regulation. He has a master's in business administration and is a certified regulation specialist. He's also a Fulbright alumni, having been selected as a Hubert Humphrey Fellow, the University of Washington, Seattle, where he pursued studies in microeconomic policy analysis.
Good day, colleagues and participants. Let me first thank the Minister of Finance and the Public Service for organizing this timely event. This is actually your government and public sector working for you. Today I'll be sharing with you thoughts on not just saving for a rainy day, but preparing yourself for that rainy day and defining what that rainy day is. In terms of budgeting and saving, it may not seem like it, but we practice budgeting every day alongside cost-benefit analysis. In other words, in every transaction that we make, we subconsciously make a rough budget in our minds that allows us to know if a purchase is worth it or not. Budgeting is an essential human tool, and it is a cornerstone of human sustenance. Budgeting tells us what we have and what we don't have, what we need and what we don't need. It separates the wants from the needs and allows us to make decisions on resources based on that distinction between our wants and our needs. We tend to budget regularly, most notably with our earnings. We assess the bills that need to be paid, the food that needs to be bought, the cost of transportation, and any other essential need that will incur cost. However, it is always best to have a budget with structure that allows for the needs of the present and the needs of the future. Building a budget that clearly details what your needs are and their associated costs can help you to make more room for planning for the future by putting money into things like saving and investing. It is very important that you try your best to implement saving in your budget for any future plans or emergencies that may require additional resources. Saving money for a rainy day is a part of what is called financial resilience, which is the ability not to be unduly financially affected by times of uncertainty such as natural disasters, illness, or other unfortunate events. Having a budget that can allow you to be financially resilient and also supports your needs of today is an important foundation of building personal wealth. It will help provide for you and your plans a launch pad that will minimize or mitigate potential risk and the resulting fallout from that risk. The role of the financial services in the insurance sector is very critical. Under the Financial Services Commission Act and the Insurance Act 2001, the Financial Services Commission is responsible for the supervision of all life and general insurance companies and insurance intermediaries. It is also the role of the FSC to ensure policyholder protection through a system of regulation and supervision. This supervision is directed from the insurance division of the FSC. So that division monitors the insurance industry to ensure that solvency standards for all entities are met, the relationships between insurance and their holding subsidiary and or associated companies are in accordance with the legislation, and most importantly, that policyholders have access to information. Industry players must practice good corporate governance as they owe a duty of care to their clients. As at September 2020, there were a total of 17 insurance companies operating in Jamaica, while 19 were registered. Life insurance companies account for 79% of the insurance sector's total assets, while general insurance companies account for the remaining 21%. And let's also look at microinsurance. Microinsurance is insurance coverage designed and targeted to the low-income or underserved population. These are some of the main features of the microinsurance business. A, the perils covered, if materialized, would severely impact the insured's livelihood. The annual premium should not exceed more than the minimum monthly wage pursuant to the current National Minimum Wage Act. And the policy duration should not exceed 1 year, but may be renewed at the end of each year. You can find more information on our website, www.fscjamaica.org. With microinsurance forming a part of Jamaica's national financial inclusion strategy, it could be possible to increase the level of insurance coverage across the island. Now, microinsurance should be able to assist, for instance, those raft persons on the Rio Grande in my home parish, Portland, and those on the Martha Brae in Trelawney. It should also help farmers whose income is sporadic and based on the reaping and sale of crops. So in planning for those rainy days, it is critical that you ensure your assets, your life, your home, your vehicle, your health are just some of the insurable assets that you should invest in. In fact, even if you are living in rented premises, you can get insurance for the furniture that you own. That rainy day may very well be a hurricane, and of course we're in the hurricane season currently, and will remain so until the end of November. And when you purchase your dream home, or any home for that matter, and you have finished the mortgage payments, you should maintain insurance coverage in case of a rainy day. Another saving for rainy day is retirement. And let me emphasize here that I am in no way likening retirement to rainy days. But the fact is that with just about 10%, yes, just about 10% of the working population enrolled in a retirement scheme or pension plan, the golden years for many of us don't really look so golden. Retirement is that point in all our lives where we stop working, especially because of having reached a particular age or because of ill health. It is highly recommended that you start planning for that eventuality as soon as possible. So investing in the securities market is another way to plan for a rainy day. But I cannot, in closing, overemphasize the importance of checking before you invest. Jamaica has had major disruptions to our economic well-being because of a tendency to take a chance. That is not how you invest and save for a rainy day. If it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Don't risk your rainy day savings to anyone who is not licensed by the Financial Services Commission. There have been cases of lawyers, pastors, doctors, nurses, teachers, and other professionals offering investment advice when they have no license to do so. It must stop, or we run the risk of collapsing our economy. Thank you so much to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, particularly Shelley Ann Weeks and her team, for inviting the financial services to be here. And of course, I'm going to ask you that there should be a link online that we will ask you to complete an evaluation survey that we're doing. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It has been a pleasure and an honor to be here at the Ministry's Wealth Summit.
If you have questions or comments, email us at fscfinancialforum2021@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. And that's a wrap for FSC's Financial Forum. Like and follow us at FSC Jamaica. I'm David Geddes, encouraging you to check before you invest.
Well lit, but must be legit. Watch your flex, are you want to vex? Check before you invest. I'm saying, check before you invest. I'm saying, well lit, but it must be legit. Have to watch your flex, are you want to vex? I'm saying, investor and investor are gonna laugh. How them laugh? Tra la 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 la. A message from the Financial Services Commission promoting integrity in the Jamaican financial sector.